Hey, everybody. Howdy, howdy. Let's turn the music on down. Y'all have to apologize. I've had a lot of technical issues this evening. Man, my board's dying. What it is apparently. But yeah, that's been a hoot. So, sorry for being a little bit late today. Welcome in, everybody. Hope you're doing well. It's always a pleasure to see you. My volume should be good now, so I don't need the headset. We can just chat and talk and do all the things together. We talk about the month as a whole. Obviously, we talk about some of the events that are going on, like the Boldly Go event. That is, well, people have opinions. We'll get through some of those together as family and friends. We'll go through the numbers for those that missed it on the Twitch stream, because not everybody uses Twitch. More people obviously use YouTube. It's the most used medium in the entire world. So yeah, we'll talk about that and anything else that y'all want to talk about. We'll go through all the different things, as well as me calling in, making sure I can participate in these formation armadas. So we'll go through those. And for those who do come on the weekday streams and the weekend streams that we have here on Twitch, we'll of course be letting y'all have the first chance, first take to do the voting, because I want y'all's opinion if we missed anything, if we moosed anything, as it were. Good to see you, Moose. Happy that you're here. Glad that you're here. Already got my call-ins knocking back out of that chat. So we have that. I'll be throwing that into the chat as well. Obviously, if y'all weren't aware, that will be tomorrow's video. We, myself and Archduke, are going to discuss various changes we could make at the 2024 version of the grading, but I'm sorry, 2025. Time just flies, man. It's wild how time flies. But what we're going to do is we're going to run the last month exactly how we've been doing. We'll see if there's going to be any changes next time around. We'll worry about that in January. But for now, we're going to wrap up just how we've been doing. So Revenant and Q Continuum Part 2 and all the shenanigans, including the event structures, are all, covered in that, so that you can give your takes, your opinions, because I am truly curious what everybody is going to see. How's the fam? They're doing well. Kids had a great Christmas. I'm still trying to edit that video. Like I said, I've been having a lot of PC and software issues, so that's been kind of problematic. But they had a great Christmas, all thanks to y'all, and it is truly thanks to all of you who watch the videos, like, subscribe. Those of you who sent gifts, very, very big thank you to that. And yeah, it's pretty neat. And now the goal is to take them to another hockey game, because they've been really enjoying that. And it's rare to find things that you can do with your kids that they also enjoy. So yeah, good to see everybody. Is Scobie responding to any complaints to the New Year's /Boldly Go, or are they basically ignoring everyone? They don't ignore people at all, Sean. So depends on what your gripe and complaint is. But yeah, considering I spent the entire weekend talking to them directly about the event, no ignoring. What's your concern there, Sean? What's your concern? All right, let's see. Caught in the stream for a change. Caught the star of the stream for a change. Welcome in, Pegasus. Good to see you. Been a while. Bob says he loves the Boldly Go multi-day rollout and deadlines. I'm glad you're enjoying it. And that is obviously what you would hope everybody feels. And that's really determined by how well Scopely implements things. So, as always, we'll see what everybody says. That's the whole point of us doing grading, though, so we can see what people think and how things go. So, Star Goddess says they've already got some of the Boldly Go stuff done. I've got quite a bit of it done. Yeah, and it was pretty neato that during this time, when I got day 3, it actually registered that I had done officer stuff already, which was kind of neato. So that was fun. I haven't even gotten to do all my clicks and stuff yet today. So if you've not done your clicks, well, make sure you go get your clicks done. It is the most important thing you can do in a day, is to do your clicks. Yeah, it's so important. So for me, as level 39 player, I'm expected to kill board Polygon Armadas. I've received 0 response through Discord and customer support. Let me go ahead and give you the response right now. You can technically participate if you want to. However, you should note that those have on them a heroic tag. So anything that says heroic is spin. For most people, this is going to be a completely ignore. You can technically do this if your alliance is running those armadas and they allow your ship to be a part of the group. But keep in mind, anything for now, the past, and the future, anything that says heroic is a spin event. So it's not expected for most people to complete this. It is not expected. However, it is technically possible to attend said group armadas and be there, but it's basically for those who got the Revenant, which was a large number of people. but it is a heroic, and that is why it is labeled as such. Sherlock says, I love the Bowling Go events. Free stuff for things I do already. That's absolutely a one way to look at it. I mean, truthfully, in a lot of ways that is true. For example, things like away teams, but it will vary player to player. So, did a bunch of solos today. I'm going to do those. I have not done them yet personally. That's on the day 3 for the solo armadas. You can see I've not touched those. Now, to be clear, that is not doing 200 solo armadas. That is directive spending, FYI. Just so that y'all don't look at that and go, they are out of their minds. This is for spending the directive. So this is, I would argue, one of the easiest heroics you're going to complete if you are above, or if you're 35 and above and have that, because we're getting those directives and those armadas themselves are not typically very difficult unless you're very new to that level range. And then you might not have a stockpile. But what ends up happening, and we've seen with most players, that they've got Borg and Dominion solos just stockpiled out the wazoo, and those should be pretty easy to run, if nothing else, getting the basic ones done regardless of the heroic level. Also, something to note yesterday that y'all should all see, but I did post in the Discord and on the Twitch, this was originally a ×1. If you haven't restarted your game client, because if you're like me and you sometimes just leave it up all the time, this has been changed to ×10, making it easier to get, even though the numbers are truncated and you can't really see, which is quite annoying. So yeah, technically possible is no good. The rev is not available at 39. It's the same thing during part 2 where we got Wave Defense Revenant event while sub 38 players got an alternate. Again, Sean, it's a spend event. I don't know what you really want me to say. When something's a spend event, I grade it by a different metric. I don't expect most of us to do spend event SMSs. So there's your answer. You said you didn't have a response though. There's your response. Like I gave you the response. So, found the solo rev also works for the polygons. Nice, nice, very nice. Evening, Mark. Good to see you. Love the new event layout. Hope it's here to stay. Much better than all the individual tabs. Well done, Scopely. So this event layout is, if you missed the video I did on Friday, it is the Boldly Go thing that was talked about 3 or 4 months ago. So it is getting slowly rolled out. It has been buggy, and while Scopely's communication is definitely not something we can constantly praise, I do feel like they've been pretty open with this in terms of like how they're trying to get it to work better, why it has not been rolled out on a grander stage, and they're trying to use this format slowly to work it back into what they want it to be, which is that field training revamp, and then also having it to run events like this. And for those who play a lot of mobile games in particular, this format will not look, unfamiliar to you. This is something that we've seen a lot of other games use, and I personally am a fan of it. I know some people aren't, and particularly our OCD players going to look at this and go, well, this is just way too much. Like, it's 15 events a day, right? The good news is you can complete all the events on whatever day you're on. It does last 7 days, with 5 days of those being event days. And for those who are curious on the actual numbers, the mathematicals, if you were to complete 0 heroics, you'll complete 60% of the points to progress down the total points line. So if you do complete heroics, you'll get further on. If you wanted to 100% it, you would need to 100% all the heroics to make it all the way to the very tippy top of the scale. So, yeah. Dragon says, I love it so far, even with bugs. I do think it is a fresh take on events. I don't think it's perfect. I do think it's a new and a fresh take, which is something this game desperately needs, is something that is not only challenging, but doable and provides good rewards, which so far people have said this has been that way for them. However, it's always good to get various opinion. Phil says, thank you for all the useful information you give over the years. It's really helped me navigate the game. Hope you and your family had a great Christmas and will have a great new year. I greatly appreciate your kind wishes, Phil. It means a lot. And yeah, the kids had a fantastic Christmas, and it's been a wonderful year hanging out with all of y'all. Is it perfect? No. But has it been fantastic? That, absolutely. So a big thank you to people like you for helping make that happen. Mr. 12 says, I'm off to bed. I'm going to see the content later. Thank you so much for being part of the Rewatch crew. You have an amazing rest of your evening. Sleep well. Okay. All right, let's see what else we got. Let's see. The problem with the formula is the end goal having a spin is crazy. We're able to finish major events with spins. If they use this type of event and throw in spin only, it hurts free to play. See, kind of wacky. Here's where you and I are going to differ, because I 100% disagree with you. And I'll explain why I disagree with you. And I would argue I actually disagree with you vehemently. It's just my fancy way of saying a lot. Here's why I disagree with you. Because a normal SMS How do those typically work? A normal event. Let's use this one, which even is listed heroic. Here's how a normal event works. Less, more, good amount. This is not how the Boldly Go structure works. So the reason that I don't mind that you're not going to be able to 100% this without expected spend is because every milestone is identical in terms of what you're turning it in for. Everybody's getting the same amount. So if you're level 35, it's simply how many pulls are you obtaining? That's all that really is determining. The reward structure is the same. So if you're completing 60%, every milestone, the payouts are identical. So now what you're getting in this essence is spenders are only getting more, not free-to-play are getting left out. Spenders are simply buying more, which I prefer than the older methods like the SMS that's a heroic I just showed, which is, well, if you can't do it, you just get less. Here, you're getting the exact same amounts everybody else gets at 60%, but spenders are simply paying to get more. It's the Kobayashi Maru style. So I don't, like if I only made it 20%, these events don't go lower, or these payouts aren't lower. It's purely based on how many of the tokens I've achieved. Thus, all of my milestones are paying out the same. It's just simply how much I pay or have hoarded to allow me to progress in that. And also, yay, more PvP officers for Rev for when and if, not if, when PvP Arenas comes back. That's the major difference. You aren't having to sacrifice rewards by, hey, I can only do 2 milestones and the first 2 rewards are pitiful. No, everybody's getting the exact same. You're simply paying to get more. You're paying to do more. That's all that really comes down to. And if you miss out, that's fine, in my opinion, because you aren't suffering with paltry rewards while everybody else bask in the wealth. You're getting the same amount. They're simply able to increase that amount for you or for themselves if they choose to complete everything that has a heroic tag, which I do want to add that we aren't seeing this loaded with heroics. I mean, this is truly a, 60, 80%, depends on what event you'll look at. Right now, day 2 and day 3, you've been getting 4 heroics added in. And even the officer ones are pretty easy to complete for most people. So I don't feel like it's a normal structure, which I've always kind of disliked because it really does punish you if you can't do all of it. This one is simply giving you good rewards, and it's how many good rewards you can earn. So now, if there is a complaint about the rewards, I can throw out there. Limits. Why it was limited to 40 on each pull? Feels arbitrary. Lifting it to 50 was nice, but still feels arbitrary. Why limit at all? I mean, it's not like you're giving away paid items that are, special and nobody else can get them without spending $3,000. I mean, it's not like there's a scimitar in there. Why limit? I don't get the limit. But, yeah, we're getting paid for a beta test. You're getting paid? Nice. I was kidding. Does the countdown projectile do anything or just cosmetic looks? Basically, any projectile that comes out is cosmetic. Like even the one that came out recently with the sleigh bells that I actually like, I'm pretty sure it's on the North Cut. So I can show you all the sleigh bell if you didn't get it. It's just pretty. It's not truly, it's really pretty, but it's not truly making a difference, even though it is an ISO modifier and a 20% mitigation modifier is doing absolutely, mathematically, it is a 0% improvement. So it's a 0% improvement. Kind of wacky says, even most Armada events, if you've saved the currency to open them, you can finish it. Not possible with this type, new paid power, but I do like the event style. But it is possible. That's kind of the thing. It is possible, but even if it's not, all the old events that you're talking about, old Armada events, were set up in a structure where first tier, second tier, third tier, okay, fourth tier, oh, finally good rewards. That's what our events have basically been for 6 years. You either get good rewards or you get left with something. And this time you're getting good rewards no matter what. It's just how much are you getting in terms of good rewards. That's the big difference to me. Edmund is mindful to note in-game currency payment. Oh, well, darn. Ooh, hoping you were getting paid. Yeah. DeMarco RNG was far worse than Tol Ra in my experience. RNG is RNG. That's absolutely a thing. I will not argue with you on that one. That's absolutely fair. Lon, did discover a thing with the first option with these special avatar items after hitting the limit the first time. It does have a secondary pull. Goes up after everything but the projectile. Don't honestly know what you're referring to. How can I get rare battleship parts 4-star? That depends entirely on your level. For me personally, I use things like, well, Voyager to get them. There's actually several different ways depending on where your special ships are and what ops level you are. Now, if you're like level 51, you're very, very limited. Oh, I'm sorry, if you're level 41, 4-star, you're very, very, very limited on how you can acquire those parts. But you have Gorn Refinery, you have Voyager Refinery, you have the Exborg pays out rare 4-star. I'd have to go look at the refinery chart or the faction chart, but I feel like there's 4-star rare in 4-star. Obviously, I'm going to have them in this G5, but I'm pretty confident they're also there in 4-star. And these are pulls that you can be making to acquire more rares. There's me getting rare. Again, this is on a level 53 account, but I'm quite confident they're there. It's just I don't remember what ops level these show up for being in the 40s. But there are several places. Now, I will add, because I always like it to be nice and have a little bit of balance with my good things. Got to add a gripe thing. One thing about this game that is kind of gripeable, everything's everywhere. And what I mean by that is, use this topic. Rare parts. Well, there actually are a lot of places to obtain them, but they're spread all over the game. You know, it's okay. Well, we have a parts refinery, but then we also have these refineries down here, right? With the ISO matter, with the Voyager. Oh, but wait, there's more. We also then have to go into our faction menu. That is one thing that if I could really push them on working on for everybody, is making the game more intuitive to find what you need. Right now, it is very complicated. It is all over the place. And even somebody like myself, or Lube, or DJ, or Samo, or Moose, just listing all the content creators who do this game, you know, religiously, put it that way. It's tough to keep up with everything for us, let alone players who just want to play the game casually. So, how many free-to-play players managed to complete the ahead of the curve? I don't have that number, Pegasus, but I will say that the ahead of the curve was not hard to complete because you only needed 60% of the events from last month to do. I know plenty of free-to-play who did, but I did not look at those numbers. The main numbers that we were tracking were on the domination style of event, which I would like to say that we clearly got them to hear our complaints because they sent out a comp that progressed everybody quite a bit. So they absolutely heard the complaint. Now, whether they end up agreeing with us in, you know, the future runs of this, if there is a future run, is going to be what I would call feasible. Well, I don't have the answer to that question. However, I'm glad they heard. As far as this one, I feel like this one was always obtainable if it was something you were interested in. I did not think that the officers for this month were very good, so I did not purposely try to complete this. And I've said this before, my play style, I am absolutely one of those players. I would rather have, this is me, I'm not saying y'all have to agree, I would rather have 10 events every day and I can choose to ignore half of them or 8 of them than have one event, and if I missed it, darn. That's me. We had a big debate in my Discord about this yesterday because of things like Boldly Go. I want to point out people's gripes because I feel like everybody's gripes can be relevant to a degree. Sometimes it's just, you know, old man yelling at a crowd or cloud, but it can be real. So one of the complaints here was like, okay, there's just too much with this. And my response is always going to be ignore things. Like, don't have to do the things. But this is adding, to a degree, 15 events a day with this, because you have 3 tabs on each one and each one has 5. That's quick math. Woohoo! That's 15 a day, plus what you're already going to have with the weekly revamp. Remember, we have a special day every day now. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday are all special days, special events. Tech Tuesday. You got the NSCA today along with the swarms. Depending on your level, you'll do one or the other. You also have the anomalous phenomenon, cosmic cleanup on Saturdays. You have Borg on Thursdays. You have mining Mondays with the Ferengi. There's something on every day now, not to mention all these 6 and 12 hour events that they revamped. So there's plenty to do. It's just the ever complaint of some people don't like that much events, some people do. And what I've always tried to tell people is this is one of the rare areas where, like, I can't find a compromise, because the truth is I see more people wanting more events than I do wanting less events. So the people who want less events are just kind of like constantly frustrated, and I feel for them, because whether it's OCD or whether it's just feeling like you're lagging behind because you see so many things that you're not doing, that feeling is valid. But it's also one of those things that it's not scopely, and I say this as someone who tries to give the most accurate feedback that I can, it's not like Scopely's just making these events for the sake of making events. It's people asking for it. And a lot of things in this game, I do think you can find a middle ground and try to make both sides happy. I just don't think this is one of those things. It's either you give more events or you don't. I don't really know how you make people happy on that one. You're either going to make one group mad or another group mad. And the best thing I can say is, as a player, 2 big points to remember in this game, whether you play this game for 6 more months or 6 more years. Remember, there's always going to be something to do, and there's always going to be something better on the horizon. So don't feel pressured to do anything you don't want to do. Y'all see me praising arenas because I really enjoy doing it. But guess what? If you don't like it, don't do it. Like, if you don't like Formation Armadas, don't do it. I know plenty of people who hate waves, regardless of how effective waves can be for your game. Cool. Don't do it. That's the biggest thing I can say is find the things that you enjoy and the loops that you actually are into. Focus on those loops, do those loops, and ignore everything else. And I think your gameplay will be better because you'll be enjoying what you're doing more. Try it out, see if Rev's right or if Rev's wrong. Either way, I do want y'all to be enjoying the gameplay that you're doing, not frustrated. I don't want anybody to play this game and it's frustrating. But anyway, we're getting sidetracked. Let's get back into y'all's comments. Dave says, extend the duration of each event. I find my daily playtime differs because of life. Well, so when you say extend it, are you saying make events like 3 days? So kind of like how the Boldly Go is doing. And I'm not like trying to do like some gotcha or catch you. Like, sincerely, is that more like what you like, Dave? Do you like the Boldly Go style? That way you have, I mean, this was set up in a week-long structure, and you can complete day 1 stuff on day 5. Are you more into these styles and you want them to explore more of this? Or are you just talking generally every event should be more than 24 hours, 30, 48 hours, 96, whatever you want to make. So let's see. And he says, some of them will complete themselves as you go. Some, like yesterday's Group Armada, are bugged and count things they aren't supposed to. As 75% of today's done when they went live. Hey, I mentioned that earlier, Andy. We enjoy those bugs. Yeah. Week-long events are definitely my preference across the board. Understandable, Dave. I'll go ahead and tell you now, and I'm not trying to be, like, mean. No way Scopely would make every event a week-long one. However, I do personally like having those options. And I think it's good to have multiple options. Now, again, not trying to offend the less events crowd, because I know they exist. But I do think for players like Dave, this is a fantastic way to give players what they need and want, while also not having the constant, hey, you didn't do the Tech Tuesday event, you missed out. If you didn't do the Borg Thursday event, you missed out. More things like this that have good reward structures, I think, would be very beneficial to a majority of the player base in either direction. Whether you're a less event or a more event person, things like this are good, and I hope to see more. What percentage of the rewards require completing all the heroics? 60% is what you can reach without heroics. So if you wanted to 100% this Boldly Go style, you would need to do all the heroics, and 40% of those points are behind heroics. So stuff like this, though, which are quite easy. This was 150 points, but most people should probably be completing these 2 heroics without any issue. A lot of the points are going to be right there, but you'll make it 60% of the path if all you did was the non-heroic events. You'll make it through 60%. If you do any of the heroics, that's going to give you a big jump because, as you can see, a lot of them have big payouts. The Solo Armada one should also, for most players in that level range, be quite easy to complete, whereas others are going to be, for many people, ignores. I know a lot of players are just not going to do the Polygon ones. That's going to be 160 points missed out on, but it would be quite far down the points structure. Yeah. 60% by milestone. By actual snow globe count, the non-heroics make up about 1/3 of the total. Okay. The heroics will be tough for the group armadas. Yeah, this is going to be the one I think everybody is going to find problematic if you're, what was it, level 39 and above, sees these 2 sets. And these are going to be very difficult to obtain. Yeah, they just are. This one, pretty easy for most active alliances. Keep in mind that almost anything counts for this. I mean, Eclipse Armadas, Burial Armadas, regular FKR Armadas, Formation Armadas, almost anything counts for this that requires a group. I think even Solo Armadas count for that because it requires a group of ships. I'd have to double check that one. I don't think it's supposed to, but almost anything counts for this. So completing that in 7, or in this case, it would have been 6 days, not too hard. But this one, really problematic. So My alliance have completed the Polygon 1-8. Very nice, Joseph. But my alliance has not. I think they were wanting to save it and do it in a couple days. I'd have to double check on what it was. I think they were planning on doing it on Wednesday. But yeah. Kevin says for 39s, those polygons are pretty much out of reach even for a spender. Depends on how many people in your alliance got a rev. And if they allow you to tag along. Yes, though. Like I said, this is going to be very difficult to do. Could I do this one with my alliance? We could. Do I plan on it? No, not personally. But it's technically doable. It's not something I'm going to do. Soul Manos do count, yeah. And I don't think that one's supposed to work like that, but we'll go ahead and give it a thumbs up, right? That's one of those player beneficial bugs. We're just going to slide under the doormat right there and say, hey, don't look at this. Don't look at it, Scopely. Ignore this one. Focus on that. So you can skip polygons. Yeah. It's my alliance will do them if we need to do our pulls. And we do have higher levels in this alliance that I'm in who enjoy doing some of those. But for me, as long as I can do these pulls, which I've got plenty of currency for a while to be doing this, I'm fine. You know, I'm not in any hurry because you have a cooldown on the group one anyway. So I'm in personally no rush. As long as I can get this pull in, which I've got millions of the Chaos Tech modules, I just need to actually get a full pull of a Q cannon like some of you out there have gotten, and I'm very jealous. See what happens. So, by my calculation, it looks like if you do everything, you earn more currency than you will be able to spend. With there being a limit of 50 on each, now, I don't think that's any the longer the case, Mock, but I would honestly have to math it out for myself. And I'll be honest, I have not. So, if they leave that bug in the Boldly Go events, let me do solos and get group. I don't see them changing because if they were going to fix that, they would have yesterday. And the person who is running these events, I would call them one of the more player-friendly live ops people. Now, I will say that they have very, very stark differences in how they believe players should play compared to me. For example, they are very anti-camp. But at the same time, I do feel like they are one of the live ops people who is most likely to hear feedback and go, understand what you're saying. Good example of that was immediately hearing feedback and going, you know what, y'all are right. The domination is just too strong, and they changed it from 1 point per to 10 points per. That was a much needed change. So I do think that, you know, at least with this set, dude, there's definitely somebody running this who is willing to listen. That doesn't mean they're going to agree with everything that you want, but they definitely have shown that they're willing to make changes when needed. All right. Don't want to miss any comments. Joanne says, haven't even looked at the Polygon Armadas in the game. Are there awards from them any good? Yes. Actually, quite good, Joanne. I pull up the chart real quick. Now, this is new content, so keep in mind, this is all essentially locked behind paywalls at the moment. Now, one thing, and we do have the survey for this month. I'm going to go ahead and share that out. Y'all always get first crack. Those who come to the YouTube live streams always get first crack. So if y'all want to give your thoughts on things like the Revenant, the daily event revamp, the monthly revamp, which is just focusing on ahead of the curve, all that is now in here. And as always, big thank you to all those who participate. You help me have the most well-rounded feedback that I can present to the overlords, as well as numbers, because nothing speaks to game designers and operations managers like numbers. Man, let me tell you, feelings and sentiment doesn't get you very far unless you can back it up with cold, hard math, which is why things like this, STFC statistics, shout out to Chrono, Spox Club, all those things are so important. So right there, jump in. Now, let me take this off the screen so I can show you what those armadas pay out, because I know that's what you really care about. Let me find it 1 second. Looking for the turn-ins page. That's the parts calls to refinery. Here we go. All right, browser capture. And let me just get this all on the screen so we can see it. Bam! The power of magic and editing. Look at there, live on stage. All right, so the evolution, that's for upgrading your Revenant. It is super good. But here are your Borg Type 3s. These are the solo armadas. And then here are the group armadas, the Polygon loot chest. So depending on your level and your mark, here are the various rewards. But even a brand new, like Mark 1 Revenant. So right out the box, just kind of, oh man, is it even worth it? Yes, the answer is yes. So giving you par steel, titanium to lithium, so really amping up how much you get in terms of resources. That is, of course, important for players out there who are, looking forward to going into G5 and things. Hearing people talk about the dilithium costs, the par steel costs, that's going to help there. Then you have the fabricator, which is personally a huge favorite of mine, even down here. So even a level 42 player with a Mark 1 has got a guaranteed uncommon payout. That's pretty nice. And it increases as you improve your Revenant, and obviously depending on your G tier. So, and what you can actually get for this, keep in mind, and I can show you this one because I don't think I've done those pulls yet today. This is a fantastic payout. Think of it as, put it this way, you're combining the payouts of materials that you get from the Bajoran store and the resource that you get from the Monavine in one. That's essentially what you have with the Revenant Armada refinery. You're getting levels of payouts for both of those things that are quite high. Now, I can show you what that looks like on this account. I'll hit up my refinery real quick. We'll go to the continuum. Oh, darn it. We got to wait 20 minutes. Remind me in 20 minutes, and I will show you what I get at level 53. And again, keep in mind, this is with a Mark 1. So the tier of the Revenant improves this, but this is not a Revenant that's been upgraded, right? So I have not evolved the Revenant. It's still a baby Revenant. But remind me in 20 minutes and I'll show you the rewards so you can see it. No click it. Doesn't work for me because this does not have the community mod. Now, if I had the community mod, I could look in here no matter what, but doesn't help me. Even though I just gave you the sheet that shows you, it is cool to see it in game and do it that way. You should scrap for Mark II at tier 10. You should scrap for Mark II at tier 5. Let me see. Let me pull up the chart just because I don't want to give you the wrong levels. But Mark II is a tier 5. And let's see. Where is the official thingy thing? Because, wait. Yeah. Got my numbers right? I got my numbers right? Tier 5 for the Mark II. You start off with a Mark 1, right? Or is it backwards? It start off as a Mark 0. Let me look at my Revenant. Look at me. Can't even remember my things. 4 evolutionary tiers. All right, well, it starts at Mark 1. Okay, so Mark 2 would be tier 5. Mark 3 would then be tier 10, and then tier 15. And the explainer graphic we have on the spreadsheet. Let me find it. Just put it up on your thing. Oh, here's the calculator right here. Revenant build calculator. Right over here. So there's your tiers based on your marks. Revenant Refinery is very good and worth the investment. I agree, Mark. And even if you're not one of those players willing to fork over $100 to get a brand new ship, that's okay, right? Because it has a free-to-play path day 1, which is, spoiler, one of the things that in the grading, yes, I'll show you. I'll go ahead and spoil. I'm not going to do this tomorrow until the end of the video, but I'm going to go ahead and spoil for you. Officer grading, I'm just going to skip that just so I can get to it. Features, blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to skip till I can get to what I want to show. But ship, I'm going to go ahead and be honest with y'all. First time in a long time. Well, NSCA also got this. A+. That's what I'm giving the ship this month. A+. Why? Because not only is it good, in more than just its loop, it can be used in a variety of ways, but also day 1 sourcing that is actually good and relevant. So, spoiler alert, Rev is very high on the ship as far as how it applies to the game for everybody. But anyway, here is your scrapping information for those curious. Yes, you want to take it to highest tier, 5, scrap, 10, scrap, and yes, level it up as well during that process. All right, let me clack this back down so I can get back into the game, because I still have all my clicks to do while we're sitting here. Still got to finish doing all my clicks. Y'all don't let me forget, though, to show y'all in 18 minutes that one while we get all these done. Biggest thing I try to remind my alliance is to not bring non-revenants above 100 million power. They don't bork the loot table for those of us with the ship and the loot bonus. That is a great point, Glenn. If you're wanting to include players who do not have the revenant but want to work on those armadas, like for the Boldly Go event that's going on right now, yeah, make sure. Because remember, those that don't know, and I did a video on this if you want to go see the math, see how it works, but loot in Armada is distributed by power. Not how much damage you deal in the Armada, but by power. So keep that in mind so that you don't bring a 300 million North cut, right? If you're going to get there, bring your pylon, all right? Get your participation trophy. Don't offset the loot when you got a bunch of 80 million power revenants and you're sucking it up with the vacuum. Don't do that. Don't be the vacuum. All right. Said last night on Twitch that there will be a way of getting the Disco Enterprise avatar, but will there be a way to get the 2025 frame? I don't know that one, Ethan. I just know that the Overlords did say that this will not be the only opportunity to get the avatar because I was so adamant that I wanted it. I don't have that answer for the frame. So, what a shocker. Rev loves a ship called the Rev. You got me. This is embarrassing, but yes, I am biased. I am indeed biased. Yeah. Got it and Cree got it. I'm glad that I both got it. I actually got it on my main on stream last night, or else I would still be fuming about not having the avatar. But I actually got it on stream last night, so now I'm happy. And I'm not being as much of a curmudgeon because I actually ended up getting it. But yes, I've got it decked out right now. So I will admit, I actually loved my former combo. This is a great one. I personally thought this looked great with the Klingon in the background. Looks fantastic, but this Enterprise is now my personally favorite avatar. I will probably be using this with a variety of frames for the foreseeable future. I love this avatar. Yes, I know everybody's about to call me out. There was indeed a time where I personally thought avatars were stupid. Why do we need avatars and cosmetics in the game? Makes no sense. Now, I love avatars. I do. And I go after specific ones. Include cosmetics I now like. So if you don't like cosmetics, that's completely fine. Rev has bought into shiny things, and if you want to call me an idiot for that, thumbs up. Fair. But I have bought into the shiny mechanic, and I really like getting new shinies. Spot is and likely remain your favorite avatar. Spot is a good one. I've used Spot a lot, but the one I most recently used was the Klingon one, but also Golden Miles O'Brien. I like having Golden Miles O'Brien, the statue of Miles O'Brien that you'll see in lower decks. I like that one. I have quite a few that I'm a fan of. I actually like the Silver Blood Voyager, and I do like all of these gold ones you're getting for mastering ships. Those are pretty neato. But this is currently on my list of at the very top. So also love the dog. I did not get the other dog one, which makes me feel kind of bad. Love the Lucky Porthos one. All right, don't want to derail this, but I have a lot of these that I enjoy. Yeah. Avatar and Frey Redeem opened, and I got 3 more avatars, but finally got the frame. Congratulations on at least getting the frame. Glad. All right, we'll wait on that one. Kenny, good to see you. What ship is better, the SS Rev or the Invinci? Do you mean the Eviscerator? Or do you mean the Vindicator? And the answer to both of those questions is the Revenant. Now, the Revenant is better than both the Vindicator and the Eviscerator. But not sure which ship you were referring to there. Not 100% sure. Remember when 511 was your main avatar? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of good ones. There is. All right. Distractions. Vindicator, yeah, out of those two, look, the Vindicator has a great refinery for obtaining Lorca and getting Lorca parts. Absolutely good. Also, I just realized I forgot to do my event. Dang it. Well, not gonna be doing my pulls after today because I'm out of juice. But it is good to get Lorca stuff and to get Lorca and the rest of the FCs. But in terms of like just actual everyday use, enjoyment, etc., give me the Revenant. Give me the Revenant. So the fact that at a tier 4 cargo cap, this is going to be, hate to be the guy, but as it tiers up, it does get kind of strong. This is going to be one of my new OPC hunters. You're going to see me flying around with my Revenant doing some OPC hunting. So, because all the events had to be done to complete the New Year's celebration. Yes. So you have to do 100% the events if you want to get all the way down to here. Yeah. All right, let's see. I'm sorry, not ignoring y'all. I just want to make sure I get all the clicks. There's a lot of them. All right, got 2 hours so I can do those. Need to get all my timers on the same page. Let's go do some dailies real quick, and not just dailies, but I need to go do Borgin. We'll get my Borgin in, and we'll go get our Disco in. Speaking of Lorca, remember you can get a bunch of Lorca shards from the Incursion store. That is a good call out. I actually made an oopsie on my Server 710 account, missed out on 15 Lorca shards. But remember, Fleet Commander Lorca is available in the Incursion store, and that is the most important thing to get from the Incursion store is Fleet Commander Lorca. We can debate what is secondarily most important between specialty ships and things like that, but the number one thing to get in the Incursion store, whether you win or lose, is Lorca. He is that valuable, that good, that important. If you've not done it, get it. The G4 economy starts at Ops 40, Kishi, Ops 40. All right. Yeah, Lorca FC. You did acquire FC Lorca today. He is God. He is not that good, but he is quite good. I would agree with that. You have to do the heroic events and go below to finish it completely. Yes, like I said. Yep. I feel like I'm going to have to re-answer that question 17 times. Yes. To 100% in the Boldly Go, you need to do all the heroics. Yeah. Managed to get 80 out of 100. Nice, see. Because if you got 80 out of 100, that means next incursions, if you win, you get him. Because the win will guarantee you get him with the 2,000 tokens. So next incursions, you need to be looking forward to it. Lorca is the last FC I need. I am like 2 shards away from getting 7, and that'll be my last one. 3 shards away from getting 7, so I'll get 7 tomorrow, I believe. I'm quite close. Yeah. Happy with my Christmas rewards. Unlocked and leveled up the Mariachi and French Q, along with 2 Syndicate levels to level 40. I'm 10 shards away from Fleet Commander Lorca. Congrats, cheese and crackers. That is definitely a productive in December. Yeah, a lot of good grinding. You get all FCs unlocked now due to the Vindicator, which is nice. The Vindicator will help me get 7 finished off. But if y'all have not used your Incursions currency yet, if I missed y'all, I know some people have their Incursions today. Make sure you go and spend it. I'll have that nice bug where things aren't displaying anymore. Love that bug. It's my favorite. But go to your Incursion store, get Fleet Commander Lorca. That is the most important thing you can go after. Please ignore the fact that my buckets no longer have pictures. I need a reboot. I'm going to go ahead and do that because it is legitimately going to bug me if my things don't have graphics. So, yeah, give me a second. Good old STFC. No bugs here. Never seen a bug. Not in my lifetime. Not in my game. Never. Aren't the one-day Rainbow away teams considered as rares? Just had one that didn't count for the rare Epic Boldly Go events. Let me click one and see. Because I believe you're right, but always like to confirm. Let's see. Form trade agreement. An uncommon. Uncommon. So it depends on which one you're doing. Because I do believe, like Meme said, some of them are rare, but some of them are not. Let's clear out, see what my 3 rainbows are. We can compare. See if any of these, because there's a 3-day one. I think the 3-day one is an epic, and I didn't get any of them to spawn. I think all the 1-days are uncommon. So like the one with data, I think is a rare or an epic, but it's a 3-day one. So, and you know, let's see if I can spam them. You know what? For science, let's do a spam real quick. We'll blow through these. Now, all that's going to do is me get Latinum because I've got plenty of speed ups for these. I'm going to blow through them real quick so we can test it. All the 1-day ones, I think all the 1-day ones are uncommon. Could be rares for specific ones. We'll check. We'll blow through them right now and we'll learn together. All 300 of us. We'll confirm this together. But they do have variable rankings. All right, so here's one of these. All right, so the faction ones are going to be rares. So Lead Expedition and the Latinum one are uncommons. The 3-day one, I'm quite sure, is an epic. And the Rainbow faction ones are rares. Go and do traits. I'm going to get all my stuff. Don't want to miss on them. All right. Rainbow for officers are counting as epic. Nice. All right, well, what is my son doing? 1 second. I'm gonna make sure Eli's not getting into something. He's fine. He's just stimming. He's okay. All right. I don't know why I put those back on. All right. I'm going to try to spam and see if we can get that data one to spawn because I am confident in Epic, but we're going to see. Use the refresh now. It changed them all. Oh, Joanne, if I only had those. Remember, these tokens no longer get paid out. This is from a bygone era. These don't exist anymore. So I don't have any of those to use. I haven't had any of those to use in a long time. Those are relics of a bygone era. They did away with that token. So how away teams used to work, got the same one again. How away teams used to work is you did have to do a refresh or wait 12 hours. So what they did is they replaced the token with automatic refresh. So anytime you complete an event, it automatically gives you a refreshed option. Before, you either had to wait for the 12-hour timer or have to spend the tokens to force a reset. So those tokens are now defunct. But in return, anytime you complete an away team or at the 12-hour period, it will refresh to a new one. So, which I personally think is a much better system. But I haven't had a refresh token in years, probably close to 2 years now, at least on this account. I might still have some refresh tokens laying around on another account. But it's been quite some time since I've had a refresh token. A little bit of STFC history for you there. Those of you who have not been playing as long as I have. Will not be able to complete the board group. Not enough people in my alliance have the ship. Yeah, that's fine, Corey. I mean, I'm not going to complete it either. Even though my alliance does have enough people, I'm not going to bother with trying to do that. If people launch them, I'll go attend. But it's not going to be a focus point for me. You have some refresh tokens? Nice, fat bearded math teacher. If you've got some left over from back in the day, you can absolutely use them. I've already used all mine. For different away team events that have popped up, I would use them here and there. And slowly but surely, I used all of my reserves. And I keep trying to get one of these 3 days to pop because I'm really curious now, but I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know if that's going to happen. Port, let's see. Nothing else, it'd be nice to get the other faction instead of the Klingon one repeatedly. Oh, there's that one. All right, so it doesn't look like we're going to get it. Those count for the Red Group Armadas? Yep, they do. You know, we're always wondering how to pronounce Eurydice. It's Eurydice. I don't know if we're ever curious. I just like calling her Eurydice because I like being different. Yeah. Or I like calling her Eurydice because I like being different. But people got on to me for doing that, so I started just saying Eurydice because that's the proper pronunciation. But I like Eurydice because it sounds cooler. To me. I think it sounds neater. All right, let me just go ahead and do these, and we're going to stop. I would let anybody else who's out there, if you happen to have a rainbow mission that is like the 3-dayer, let us know. Let us know. If you happen to have one of the 3-day ones, let me know, because I do think those are epics, but I'd love to confirm that myself. All right, complete those, and rare or epics. There we go. So I do need to make sure I launch those so I can get that done, but they are confirming for the rares. Again, got to make sure you're running the right ones for rares. So the ones that are for factions are rares. The ones that are for like lead expedition are not rares. Those are not rares. All right, where is manipulative? Who's manipulative? Fator. Why? Oh, Tomalak. There we go. There we go. Oh wait. It is epic. Got one up. Thank you, Jay Watts. Appreciate you. I knew there'd be somebody out there who had one to confirm that. So appreciate y'all for helping out. So now we know, for those that didn't know, the faction ones, rares, the 3-day ones, epics that are rainbow, and then lead expedition, form trade agreement, those are going to be uncommon. So thank you, Retrieving. Appreciate that. Always good. Have math. Always good to have math. Let me respond to Seth real quick. How you get officer intel? Which one's the officer intel? Sorry, there's a bunch of currencies. Officer intel. Which one was that? It's not this one, is it? Because that's the star charge. There's rare and epic star charge. Officer intel. Officer intel. Oh, officer XP? Okay. Officer XP can be done with Latinum. You can grind in various systems for it, like Tiger Core if you're a lower level player. You can get it from doing just your refines. Any common and uncommon officer that you have that's maxed out will turn into XP instead of transporter patterns. Yeah, Officer XP. That's intel. Thank you. Again, goes back to what I said earlier. Like, even if you were in this game all day, every day, the amount of stuff to keep up with is, well, it's a lot. It is a lot. Intel is XP. And that is to apply to today's event, which is under officers. Spend officer intel. I need to go spend. Surely that's heavily truncated. Surely it's not only 10,000. Let's test that out for me. Very doubtful it's only 10,000. Let's go see if it's only 10K. Because I know I've got some, like Mirror Her, who I just unlocked. I've not even leveled her up. So let's spend 10K real quick and see. There's no way that's actually 10K. Had to have gotten truncated down. And yeah. Well, I guess I didn't spend 10K. Let me go. Hold on, chat. Hold on. Hold on. Give me a second. If mine's 10K, I'm going to just go crazy. Wild. All right. Level up Starfleet Q, who I got last month. Or I think I actually got him in between. Yeah, if you see destroyers ever listed, those are what interceptors were originally designated as way back in ye old day. Wow, I think it actually was only needing 10,000. Well, looky. I'm kind of shocked that wasn't a truncated number. I'm actually shocked that wasn't. All right, spend faction credits. That's annoying, but that's pretty easy to do. Let's go find somebody that needs to be upgraded. Now, that can be difficult. I don't actually think my low-level account will be able to do that, my level 25 account. But you see, I've got plenty of options here. Who do we want to upgrade? I generally only upgrade people that actually I use and need. And as you can see, none of these are those. Well, you know what? Martok, because he's an amazing character in DS9. Let's upgrade Martok. Simply because he's a fantastic character. No other reason than that. There we go. Why have you not leveled up more officers? Because I stopped my mess hall at 69 and I am juvenile and I'm not taking it above 69, so officer level no longer matters to me. Mine stays at level 69. Yes, I'm purposely missing 30 levels of upgrades. Doesn't bother me. It's 69 and it will stay there. I might never go to level 70, to be honest with you, because 69. Yes, I'm an idiot and a child. Feel free to ridicule me in the chat, but that's the reason. That's why I have all these officers sitting there needing upgrades. And if I'm being completely honest and open with y'all, the true reason is not, if I had to like give it a percentage, 30% of it is the fact that it's level 69 and that's hilarious. The other 70% is I honestly just don't want to sit there and click repeatedly upgrade officer. Level 10, level 11, level 12, level 13, all the way to the top and then do that for 100 officers. I just don't want to do that. That's 70% of it. Truthfully. 30% of it is yes, I'm still like a teenage boy at heart, but the other 70% is I just don't want to do the clicks. So I just don't want to do that. If Scopely honestly made it easy for me to get all my officers upgraded like with a slider, then I probably would go ahead and do that. But would you unlock Marshal Q plus Mariachi Q plus spend 170,000 event store currency for other random upgrades, or would you take beer from tier 1 to tier 3? Well, how much do you do PvP? If you're going to contribute in arenas at all, get Mariachi and Marshal Q. If you're going to do PvP arenas at all, get the officer. I personally don't think that I actually prefer calling him Andorian Doc Brown. I don't think Andorian Doc Brown is that good. I think he's fine. I don't think he's bad, but he does what 4 or 5 other officers already do, what exocomps do. He's fine, but I would much rather, and I put my resources into the PvP officers. So, that's what I would do. Now, if you are a player who simply doesn't care at all for PvP, which is completely fine, like if you just don't do it, then yeah, go after your loot officer. But yeah, like you're saying that, you know, a 5% better loot than Doc, whoopee, doesn't mean anything to me. I mean, there's plenty of officers that do that. For example, Enterprise E Picard, Enterprise E Data. That's 100%. Yeah, it's just, yeah, is more, yes. But if I had the choice between a small amount of more loot or PvP improvements, I go PvP improvements. That's just what I do. That comes down to like what your style of play is, and will you want those style of, do you want to contribute to that? I think it's good. Reminder to your refinery. Yeah, thank you. I didn't think it had been the 20 minutes yet, but we can go double check. We do have notifications, so I guess it has. All right, so let's give it a visual for all those who like visuals. I'll even do a big 5-pull chest for you, but here is, you know what, for science sake, let's do a single pull on all these so we can show y'all what I'm getting. But single pull, keep in mind, level 53, so kind of ignore the 4-star. 5-star though, single pull, got 1800 rare and 1800 uncommon, 120 rare. Now I can still use these, believe it or not. Scrapping ships and things like that still matter. But yeah, good payouts. Granted, there's a chance. You don't know exactly what you're going to get, right? But sometimes you can get the good, sometimes you get okay, right? But you're guaranteed this. You might get this. Like, I really want the epics to happen, which is why I tend to do the big pulls. But you're guaranteed these, and that's just so nice. And the drop rates aren't even that bad, right? The drop rates aren't terrible. You can get a better increase. Let's do a big pull, see what we get. Even though I didn't get my epics, I still got, you know, decent amounts. Decent. So, nice map payout. And again, that's every day, right? Like, that's, you do that every day. That's not a, oh, you did it once a week. What does that really add up to? You do that every day. That's going to add up. So, big fan of the Revenant Refinery. And again, also to just kind of point another point to that is, I'm a baby Revenant. Like, I'm not even an upgraded Revenant. That is a baby Revenant. 5 tokens of 2 chests. I know, Glenn. I know. But did you not see? Actually, I don't think you can see. I run the Armadas enough. I have, or had, when I was doing those pulls, I had 30 tokens. So I was fine with it. Right? If you have a surplus of tokens, do the 5 pull knowing it's less efficient because you've got the tokens. Now, if you've only got 3 tokens, or you've only got 5 tokens, don't blow 5 on one, get 1 of each. Right? But if you've got a surplus of tokens, go for it. Yeah. Clicky, clicky. All right, we're going to start doing a grind now while we chat. Raj, good to see you. Raj, actually one of those players who doesn't spend money, who beat ahead of the curve and had to come brag about it. So good to see you there, Raj. How you doing, man? Good to see you. I'm doing my Galaxy research tree. Wish there was an easier way to do all this research without having to click on it all the time. You mean the mirror tree? Sure, yeah. I mean, we all want easier. Just, you get all of us agree on that. Everybody here wants easier. So yes, absolutely. You got Q cannons today in your pull. I hate you, Dark Paladin. And I hope that today, as you go meandering across your life, you run into 16 Legos and they're all under your feet. Congratulations on your Q cannon. Very not happy for you. Very not happy for you. All right. Who is more important to pair with Mirror Picard, Data or Kira? Oh, Data. That's not even close. Mirror Data. That's not even a debate. Mirror Data is arguably the best mirror officer in the game. But Mirror Data. Yeah. More Mirror Data is more better. The higher tier you get Data, the more effective an entire mirror loadout becomes. You can make the argument that Mirror Data is the most important because of that. You need Mirror Data. Yeah, I saw you went G5, Raj. Congratulations. Congratulations. The Gorn Abyss Raider, just curious, been getting a bunch of some special officer pull item from the refinery without the ship. Does the officer pull for those special ones only exist with the ship? Correct, Lon. So you are getting the mat for it, but you can't use it until you get the ships. The good news is you'll have plenty of it. Bad news is you can't use it yet. You'll have to unlock the ship to be able to use that refine, and that is going to be this one down here. So just have to sit and wait. Hurry up and wait on that. And watch me pull what? Hey, no Pelia this time. Almost got my Kirk and my Kirk upgraded. Look, I pulled the brothers. Cool. I think it's the first time I've ever done that. And I need to go grind that. Always something to grind. Always something. This month I went to Op 60 and got the Enterprise D and took tier 7. Congrats, Ryan. We were actually talking about that on my Discord last night, you know, because I'm the strongest 53 on my server by a lot, by about 15, 16 million. Now, I'm not the strongest 53 in the game, but the point was I've made it very, very high as a 53. but I'm not super interested in 56. So my goal in 2025 is going to be getting to 60. And I'm going to do it relatively quickly. Like, I'm not going to spend a lot of time at 56 like I have at 53. I've spent time at 53 because I 100% legitimately, honestly enjoy it. I love level 53. It is such a fun level for me. I've had a blast. But the next level I know I'm going to have a blast at is 60. So I'm going to be making that push to hit 60 either by the summer or by the fall. It's not going to take me very long. I'm not going to sit and just meander around like I'm doing on 53 right now. Unless something changes. Who knows? Maybe content comes out and I'm like, you know what? I'm fine to wait. But the allure of the Enterprise D and the Rotarn is strong. And I can only play with my knockoff Enterprise D so long. I know any of you watching go, Rev, I'd love to have a tier 11 Enterprise A. You should count your blessings. Sure, whatever, cool. I want an actual Enterprise D, not the one I have a skin of from the TNG arc 3 years ago. I want an actual Enterprise D. I've been in this game 6 years. I grew up watching The Next Generation. It's nostalgia. I want it, dang it. And even though this is neat, I want an actual Enterprise D, not a, destroyed one from Generation. Even though this is cool, I want an actual Enterprise D. Surely other people in the chat understand where I'm coming from and agree with me. Surely I'm not alone in that. But yeah, that's what I want. I want an Enterprise D. Yeah. All right, let's see. I need to sting one of these things. All right, just got my dual generators level 18. I need 5K of the remnants for the next 2 levels. Welcome to manually clicking that button 400 times. You want the Enterprise D as well, but the skin makes up for it till I get it. Oh, for sure. Don't get me wrong. I like having it. And thanks to the ISS Jelly Farm, I'm able to get my Enterprise A this high. Like, this wasn't money. This was, if you're curious, Rev, how did you make an Enterprise A tier 11 in like 1/3 of the time it took you to do the Tribune, which is only tier 10? Answer, ISS Jelly Farm. If you haven't watched that video, if you're a new G4 player, that to me should be one of your focus points. You should be wanting to create that because it's going to make your G4, G5 gameplay so much better, so much cheaper. Haven't watched that video, 100% recommend it. Yes, it's my own content. Yes, I'm promoting myself. But the ISS Jelly Farm, super, super important. Just like its retrieving says, the ISS Jelly helps you get the Enterprise A maxed out and give you all the stuff you need. And then that Enterprise A is going to make your Enterprise D cheaper, which is why the Enterprise D is the first of the epics I will be getting. Good to have all this stuff planned out. It's good to have all this stuff planned out. That way you don't experience the troubles and the pain that the original players did. Like the ones who got the Enterprise D first, they had to spend out the wagon to do that. You don't have to, right? You're not going to have to if you follow the teachings of the content creators. You're going to avoid some of those pain points. You're going to sit at 60 or go G6. I'm going to sit at, I will not go G6 until G7 releases. I'll put it that way. Will not go G6 until G7 is a thing. And then we'll have that discussion. So. With the poly armadas, we have a lot of them bug out and cancel. It was fixed core in official Discord, but still a problem. If you're still experiencing that, then the sadly only thing I can really say is ticket, and we can try to get them to look into it again if you're still experiencing it. So. Yeah, Op 60 and then not going to G7 or to G6 till G7 is here. I think is fair goal and I have those goals for many reasons, but the biggest one is obviously staying around the player base, but also not wanting to be up with the paywalls. I'm not down with the paywalls. We're getting so close to 500 Op 70s. Yeah, it's taking a long time. Why is mirror data more important than level up versus Picard? Because you need mirror data leveled up so that you can actually get his activation so that you can make the assimilate reliable. So I've actually got it on my Battle Nova here. But here's your Picard. He's good. We like him. And then here's this. You want his Apex barrier because that's a good amount of barrier. Plus, I've got Mirror Uhura boosting up my barrier, which also needs assimilate. So the biggest, best things about some of the mirror stuff requires assimilate. And you want that. You can guarantee it. You want to guarantee it. Mirror data needs tiers to make sure that happen. And sure, you can try to augment it with Dazok, but remember, Dazok is not as good at assimilate as Data is. Even with both of them, you're not guaranteed you're getting what you need. Apex Barrier is the strongest defense item in the game today, just like ISO is the strongest offense item in the game today. So yeah, you're getting your offense up here. That's good. Plus synergy, also nice. But you need assimilate, and him at the bottom tier is fine. He works, but you need assimilate active to really have Mirror be what it is. Because without assimilate, Mirror is not necessarily stronger than Carol, Lorca, Honor Guard War for even strike team. You need that assimilate active. You need it. Again, I'm speaking to the PvP crowd. Right? Like, if you're not big into PvP, just ignore what Rev's talking about. Yawn and go get your Endorian Doc Brown. So, welcome in, Rob. Good to see you. Thank you so much, and Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to you as well. I also have to send a big thank you out really quickly to James. Obviously, everything I do is, well, it's based on the community supporting. And they just donated so that I can take the kids to a hockey game for New Year's. And thank you. I want to say a thank you for that. I'm going to put in your name and how much you did. Thank you very much. They donated $50 to support me and my family. Greatly appreciate it. And thank you for allowing us to do these neato things. Thank you very, very much. It means a lot. I appreciate it. Can Mirror Crew replace the Q squads and arenas? Yeah. I mean, Mirror Crew came first, but yeah. Q squads are fine at the Q Continuum group, but they're really better when they're maxed, right? If you're an average player, light spender, free to play, the rare Q officers are better below decks than they are on top. That's where I have all of my Q officers, right? I'm not saying I can't build a good crew. Like, I have the full Q crew, but I have a tier 1 Starfleet Q, and then I have tier 2 and tier 3 Mariachi and Marshall. Mariachi and Marshall doing me way better below decks than above decks. Now, the higher tier player you are, like we have a couple players who are high G6, like MB is in here, probably have higher tier of those officers, then those officers become a very viable above deck PvP group. But for the majority of players who watch my content, they are fantastic below deck officers, to the point that I have them below decks and have seen great results from them because of what they can do, whether it's the hull regen or the Apex Barrier for battleship. You know, video how to balance out below deck abilities. You need to be more specific about what you're asking. So, is it worth chasing the table for the holiday choice recruit SLB? Lots of players dropping resources. Well, that's up to you. Do you think those are worth it for you personally? I mean, I'm not going after it, but that doesn't mean it's worth it. I think SLBs, it's always, hey, there we go, got the overflow. It's always how easy is it for you, which really boils down to how cost effective is it for you. If you feel like a lot of people are dumping a lot of mats into it right now, then I would avoid it, unless you're a high spender who just has a not only plethora of mats, but options to spend those things on. My issue is I've got plenty of uncommons and such for mat spend events. I don't have anywhere to spend them, so I have to be very choosy about what I do, because sure, I have ships, but I might not have the rare parts, for example, to upgrade the ship. So you look at the Enterprise A. Do I have the mats to take it up? Oh, absolutely. Do I have the ship parts? No, that's my bottleneck. And if you, either way, you need to make that decision for you. So I balance it. Not only do I have the materials for it, but how much are people investing in it? Because I don't want to spend beyond a certain amount, because if you get to a point where I would need to level up to make things easier to blow through. So you got to find that for yourself. You're doing the first milestone, one to get my Enterprise to tier 9. Completely fair. Again, and I think one good way to see with a lot of heroics is, hey, if the tier 1 rewards are good, we'll just get tier 1, which I did get tier 1, right? If you think those are good, just get tier 1. If you have more that you can spend, go for it. You know, really, I could dump all these G3s I'm sitting on. My problem is I've gotten so many efficiency researches now. The amount of G3 epics I would need to build to dump all of my G3 just is not worth the headache, and I don't want to go through that. But again, just comes down to what is viable, or what is, you feel like is profitable for you, and go from there. Okay. All right. Merry Christmas to you as well, Pray. Appreciate you, and Happy New Year to you as well. Glad that you're here. Love you. Thank you for hanging out. Always good to see everybody. Also, Kinky Jesus coming through. Oh my goodness. Well, Kinky Jesus, thank you. For those of you who hate OCD, or love OCD rather, Kinky Jesus loves making your day terrible. Thank you for supporting my family, though. I appreciate it, but they donated the wonderful number of $26.37. So I will say thank you, because you now helped me get over halfway to the goal of taking the kids out to the hockey game. But how dare you? How dare you? Oh, thank you, though. I really do appreciate it. But God, it looks ugly. Chip parts suck at G4 and G5, and they're not good at G6. But to be honest, I felt like G4 was worse than G5 or G6 so far. Here's why I believe you probably feel that way, Andy. Because when you went through G4, everybody agreed you don't even bother trying to max these things, right? Well, that's changed now in G4. Now people are trying to max those things. And G5. I remember the early G5 adopters were like, look, take your uncommon to tier 4. Don't worry about it. Take your rare to like tier 7. All that's changing because now the newer group, as we've gotten more and more things, we're wanting to take things higher than y'all did. All right, it's the fact that you have all these enterprises and augurs now that are 20 million power, when that was something that you had to be a high level player to do. So I think part of that was the expectation of how far players wanted to get when you were there, Andy, because I would say that G4 is really not that bad in comparison. Like, I don't feel like G4 is worse. I just think it's the expectation of how high people are wanting to get. And running into those early walls, especially if like you were an early adopter for G4, you know, it felt really, really poor. But G5 to me feels way harder than G4, only made easier by the fact of ISS Jelly scrapping. Right? But if you were there first and experiencing, you know, the really high walls, it makes sense to feel that way. Yours is 33 million. Well, I was talking about 20 million enterprise at like level 39. We have a player on 710. Obviously, server 710 is a newer server. It's only a few months old. There's a player at level 39 with a 20 million enterprise. Like, back in the day, hate to be that guy, but back in the day, I was pretty proud of level 34 having like level 39 having like a 10 million power enterprise. Like, that was a, oh man, revs beefy. Now 10 million enterprise shows somebody's way behind on research and building. Let's see what my baby enterprise is now. I think I have one that I haven't scrapped. Yeah, here it is. So I've got a tier 1 one. No upgrades. Nothing. Tier 1, level 1, 15 million. Like, haven't upgraded it. I built it because I scrapped another one. Literally not touched it. 15 mil. So yeah, they definitely get bigger. But more speaking of like where players are at now in the game and how the availability of high level stuff essentially is down at the lower level. Yeah. Yours is 8. Nice DeCourcy. Very nice. Very, very nice. 51 mil at level 65. Very nice, Jay Watts. Look at you guys and gals bragging about your level 34 epic. Who would have thought you'd still be bragging about them in 2024? Remember the night on Twitch when Rev Max's first enterprise took his auger to tier 8? Jeez, that's, what, 4 years ago? I wonder if there's a clip of that laying around just so that we can stare in shock at me being excited about, like, hitting, what was it, like, probably 9 million power, 10 million? Everybody's gonna be like, that's good. I've actually had people on older YouTube videos do that, like, why are you excited about like your 1 million power Saladin? That's weak. I'm like, you don't understand what has changed in this game. A 1 million power Saladin was the most OP ship that existed, and you're making fun of it. You don't even understand. You don't understand. Hey, look, I've got a free treasury. Not using it, but I really want to. Not using it, but I kind of really want to. Nope, ignore. Resist temptation. Don't they even play clips from that night on YouTube? Was it even on YouTube? I don't remember. Honestly, don't. It's been that long. It's been that long. And again, thank you to Kinky Jesus. Thank you to the man, the myth, the legend, James, for helping support the kids. Y'all are awesome, and it is very much appreciated. Thank you very, 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 very much. Having a G3 Epic back in 2018 was a year-long goal that would take 10 years back then. For sure, Patrick. Like, this is going to blow some people's minds. But to max out like an enterprise at level 34 when the game came out, which was happening in early 2009, those players were spending 4 digits minimum as in people were spending $6,000-$7,000 to make that happen. Not exaggerating. Not. People were spending thousands to max their level 34 epic. Generally, it was the Enterprise. And that's way, way, way back in the day. But you'd never do that now. Like, even if you wanted to max your Enterprise now, like you hit level 34, even if you bought all the blueprints and bought the upgrades, you're probably spending a few $100s. And that's like trying to find a way to be inefficient. Corey says, when you got drunk and took your clothes off. Hey, we don't talk about that. That never happened. Never happened. Didn't happen. Don't know what you're talking about. No idea. All right. Spent 1,400 or spent 4,200. I remember, words are hard. I remember 4,200 spin when it came out before they launched the ISS Jelly. Nice. Remember people running around, cracking bases with North Stars and terrorizing people with baby jelly? Before they rearranged the ops level requirements, I remember getting chased by a Voclus and just how strong that was. Anyway. Oh, good times. Good times. All right, let's see. Where am I at? I just need to be able to do my pulls. I'm not even trying to triple pull this. I just want to be able to get enough done. So I can go do the Gorn grind. Annoying. All right. Anisius made it rain for Rev that night. She did. Shout out to Anisius. She didn't even play the game anymore, but shout out to Anisius. The good old days. The younger days. I don't know about good old days. I'm 35 now. I can't believe when this game started, I was 29. 29. I was in my 20s. I was a young man. Now I'm a, father. Father then too. But you know what I mean. A lot of time has passed. All right. How did this become reminiscing? Some people don't spend $1,000 on Mayflower, and some people do. And some people can talk about it for the rest of their experience in game and laugh about it now, but I bet if they went back in time, they wouldn't do it again. But you don't know. As long as you had fun, that's what ends up mattering with the spending stuff. As long as you enjoyed what you spent on, that's all that matters. I don't care if you spend $0 in this game or $100,000 in this game. I just want you to have fun. It's not shots fired, Wolfwood. People have been mentioning DJ's 1,000 pay flower for 15 messages now. Not shots fired. Not as if DJ doesn't mention it, once a month. He remembers, right? The mountain remembers. Problem with the D, it's epic gas. Even at 62, G5 epic gas is hard to come by. Absolutely can be, Heath. Absolutely can be. Not wrong. Not wrong at all, my friend. Never mentioned it. It's everyone in stream that does. Well, either way, whether it's him or his community making sure he never forgets, he did in fact do it, and he does in fact talk about it, regardless of how the circumstances arise. Y'all are so nitpicky. Y'all know that? Y'all know how nitpicky you are? While y'all are being nitpicky, how about y'all go do this over here? Go do this survey. Let me know if I've missed anything or if there's any things that need to be changed. Get over there. Get to work. The DeMarco / ship resolution cap just went to 100. The what now? What you talking about, Willis? What you talking about? Talked about time of game last week. Spent a day sick on the couch. Went through every loop I need to do that hasn't been killed by or finished by the IA building. It took 5.5 hours straight with multiple ships. That's impressive. That's impressive. All right. Just got here late. December was a good month. Got VGR, second Stella, half of the Fuchsia, and the Sarco. Nice, Etrium. Appreciate that. By the way, throw it into the survey if you haven't already. Throw it in there and then get your alliance mates to participate as well. Every opinion matters, positive or negative. It is needed so we can be the best content creators we can be. I'll do a 3 chest pull because I don't feel like doing that again anytime soon. Here we go. There we go. So let's see. Did the limit get raised on these again? And if so, might need a reboot to see that happen. Let's see. New Year's celebration. Still says limit 50 on me. But let me go ahead and reboot and see if they just raised the limits again. I didn't even bring that up to them yet, I don't think. Let's so see. They raised it again. Good old reboot will show all things. But they did raise it from 40 to 50 yesterday. All right, load up. Make sure the game loads up before we try to give it too many commands. We don't want to freak it out. Game's very, very picky about that. Congrats 710 for winning on Incursion. Yes, I'm very proud of Server 710. And especially shout out to Galora from AAA, who really led the charge, making sure everybody was organized. Shout out to them. That was really dope. All right, let's see. Mine still says, oh, okay. All but this one. Okay. All right, yeah, cool. Cool. Yeah, this one still says limit 50, but all the others are at limit 100, which is pretty daggum good, especially if you don't have Gwen DeMarco, which remember, get Gwen DeMarco. If you don't have Gwen DeMarco, do this pull and try to get Gwen DeMarco. At least get closer to getting Gwen DeMarco. She's good. Wow, I got 600,000 Latinum. That's pretty impressive. Maybe I'll get a Laliari upgrade, even though I don't want to upgrade her. There she is. There we go. She don't care if I upgrade Laliari, but now I can't. I've been pulling this one for Armada officers. Now, of course, I don't get them. But yeah, there you go. They raised the limit again. So, hey, people were talking earlier. Did the Scopely listen to feedback? Well, there's you a very simple, easy yes. Platinum was the best reward. I've been loving the Latinum payouts. My baby account is really loving the Latinum payout. Especially this for I blew a second 50 on 4 and Torah. Hey, well, here's the thing. You got many more days and many more events and much more currency coming. So enjoy it. Look, it's dangerous to say. I know y'all are going to get your pitchforks and stuff out. You're about to throw rocks at me. But they've been pretty daggum generous with the New Year celebration currency. Between the Flash Pass, between the New Year celebration, between gift chest, they've been giving out a lot of that currency. So I'm thankful. Even my 710 account, which is level 25, doesn't have access to a lot of things, is getting good payouts. My Latinum number has gone up by a factor of 4 just from this. So that alone has been like very good. And there are definitely people who are further than I am. So yeah, very appreciative of how much has been given away. Getting a second Flash Pass? Yes, they did say there's going to be a second one. So this event and then Flash Pass are very good and Scope deserves a praise for it. Well, you remember that the next time they do something terrible, that they also deserve to praise at one time. About 4 million in Latinum. Well, if you've watched on this stream, I just went up 1.2 million Latinum from those pulls I just did. So, yeah. And I got my frame and avatar. So ultimately, I won. You've been pulling all of the Globe Store for New Year's on server 16. Very nice RNT. Hope you're enjoying the rewards. Is Scopely done with event store loot events? To my knowledge, yes. I have stopped doing the spreadsheet because I'm pretty sure it's done. If y'all are curious, what the final free-to-play above level 40 number was 310,000. Here, I'll put it up on the screen. Okay, 1 second. Oop, wrong one. Cancel, cancel, cancel. Discard. Browser. There we go. All right. These are our final numbers. I'm pretty sure I didn't miss anything, but 310,000 free-to-play currency was the amount which, I'll go ahead and tell you what Scope was going to say, was the most this year. It in fact was the most lucrative 440 and above event store of the year. However, last Christmas before that. So each Christmas has gotten more and more cold in the stocking. Now, I'm going to go ahead and give you Scopely's rebuttal to that as well. This Christmas and this Christmas, you were not getting materials. We're not getting Latinum. You were not getting anything besides event store currency. So, Scopely's argument is going to be, you got 310,000 event store currency and materials and resources. I'm just giving you the argument. Now y'all can have the information and give feedback based on that. There you go. So, their argument is going to be, we gave you 310 event store currency and we're giving you material. Y'all decide if y'all like that or not. Be interesting to see if Voyager is next arc, or could they bring in Voyager A, or is that Prodigy only? Good questions, Bill. Good question. I would drop the hint that you did see something that's coming at the beginning of the year in the roadmap that just dropped. So I saw a couple of things. Lower amount of Latin, get mats, and you can work with that. Glad you're enjoying it, Dark. Hope it doesn't have to give anything, but I take any free stuff I can. True, they don't technically have to, but I don't like that argument either. Yes, they do. They do have to give it. I will say that between choice awards and event store currency, I am okay with getting 300,000 event store currency only because I also had other rewards. But I understand that with the event store being a catch-up mechanic, there are plenty of people who would rather have more currency, and I think that's a valid statement and argument. You would give all 480,000 event store currency for 10 DeMarco shards? Fair burning. Russ, thank you for being a cadet and supporting the family. Hope you're doing quite well. Appreciate you. Also, have to give a big shout out to Corey because my phone buzzed. And he specifically said, "Bite me, Kinky Jesus." So I don't know if that was an invitation or a threat or what. But thank you so much, Corey, supporting the family. Corey just said, "Go to the hockey game." Thank you very, very much, Corey. I greatly appreciate that. You're amazing. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate you. Thank you. It means a lot. Kids are going to a hockey game. Y'all are awesome. Thank you. Honestly, I don't know if that was an invitation or what. As a free-to-play, you got 310 or 313,000. Nice RT. I'd say it's a solid amount, right? Again, depends on what you want to spend it on, what you were trying to go after. But the big thing is, and I do think it's fair to talk about that, the big difference between this Christmas and previous event store Christmases is you're actually getting currency. And I think that, well, that matters, right? Speaking of, I actually need to go spend this. I still haven't finished spending this. I got 2.5 days to finish spending this. I got a little bit left. French Marshal Q. Yeah, I'll dump it into him. Sure. That being resource, they give more tokens and a better trade in. The players can decide their priority. Sure. I mean, that's an argument. That's an argument. Barbecue here. Been a while. You look great. Thank you. Watching this, though, I think I'm out trying to figure out all the new mechanics as akin to me learning Eve. Fair. It's not that bad, but it is a lot. I won't deny that. Good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you for the kind words. Very nice of you. Let's see. You did share a house with Kinky Jesus? Well, what happened in the Kinky Jesus house stays. Not even necessarily stays off the YouTube chat. How about that? Stays off the YouTube chat. We'll put it somewhere else. Nice, friendly place. Very kind place. Put it there. How about that? Yeah, good stuff. Somehow my subscription got canceled. You blame the French. It's always good to blame the French. If you can't do all the quests, can you still get max payout in the event? No. You can only get max payout in the current Holy Ghost style if you did all the heroics. So I think you can make it, well, specifically what they said, you make it 60% of the way down the track if you did no heroic. And I did get the avatar, Seth. Thank you for at least remembering what I wanted so bad. I did manage to get the avatar. Now I can be less of a grumpy Gus. All right, finally running out of currency, and I've got 600 left that will last until this account dies because, of course, there's no way to just get rid of perfect amounts. Wait, is there a way to get rid of 600 specifically? I'm not getting a transport coil. I'd rather have the dead currency. Yep, we're keeping the dead currency. I got 600 dead currency. We're going to keep it the rest of my days. All right, y'all. Look, it's been great. Obviously, I got to finish editing the video of the Christmas presents y'all sent the kids, which, again, big thank you for that. Also, my wife's going out to a movie tonight, letting her have some time off from the kids. So I'm going to have to wrap up. But content coming out tomorrow. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all as always. Again, thank y'all so much for all the things that you do for me and my family. We do recognize it. It means a lot to us. We certainly appreciate it. We'll never forget it. See y'all tomorrow on both Twitch and YouTube video. Remember, y'all got to help me get this survey out because I need y'all's opinion. Got to get this to Scopely from y'all. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all so much. Live long and plunder. Stay safe with the Space Cowboys. Deuces. That's me. Catch you on the next Star Trek League of Men video. Love Love you, and I'm out.
An even better outro than the intro. For the Empire and glory to your house.